Okay, this person says, hey, hope you're doing all right. I've been thinking about something and I just have to ask. The way you talk about enlightenment, honestly, it's not attractive at all. It doesn't sound like all the other stuff I've heard about enlightenment. The way you describe it, it wouldn't help with any of my problems. And yet, here I am, still listening. I don't understand why that is. You're the enlightened one, you tell me. Why do I keep listening to you? Thanks for letting me get that off my chest. I'm curious what you'll say. Well, you're not the first person who's kind of said that. Because the way, generally the way people find out about enlightenment, it's kind of like, wonderful stories. Oh, there's this story about the Zen monk who did this thing. And there's this story about the enlightened master in India who did this other thing. And it sounds great. And the subtext is, once you get enlightened, all your problems are over. You're just in this blissful state where nothing bothers you and nobody is annoying anymore. Everything goes really well and you don't have any questions and you're certain about everything and so on and so forth. And I should also say that enlightenment is something that most people are not that interested in. A lot of people know about enlightenment and they'll it's just like a fairy story. Oh yeah, that's that thing. And they'll trot it out. Of like, over dinner kind of conversation. If it even comes up at all, it usually doesn't. Then there's other people who are interested in it and they'll learn more about it. And often what they will do then is build up a big reservoir of knowledge that supports them not being enlightened. This is, again, my observation. Then there are some people who go after it. Okay, so if you're the person that goes after it, in my experience anyway, you start to get rid of all the fluff. And there's a free enlightenment training thing on my website, furtheremergence.com. If you want to take it, do it. And it is a process of that, of getting rid of the fluff. So when you start off, it's like, oh, if you're enlightened, you can do great tricks. You can, hold your breath for a really long time. You can levitate. You can walk through walls. You can bilocate, whatever. And then you kind of get down to, well, do I really need to do that? If I got enlightened, is that a deal breaker? If I can't levitate, does that mean I'm not enlightened? And you start to get rid of a lot of things that are not important to you. And you get down to what does it mean to me? What am I going for here? What do I want? What do I want from being enlightened? Okay. So then you balance all that, I'm talking to the person who wrote now. So you balance all that against me, who is just saying, yeah, I got enlightened in 1996, and I talk about it, I've made videos about it, talking about the story and whatever. And did it mean that you were never unhappy again? No, I was unhappy again, and I still get unhappy about things. Does it mean that you stopped becoming more conscious? No, still in that process, still finding embarrassing and cringy bits of unconsciousness that I'd rather I didn't have. Do you know everything about everything now? No, still don't know everything about everything. And you come to us what you're describing. It doesn't sound great, And it's like, and the other thing is like, well, prove you're enlightened. It's like, well, I don't really have to, because I can look in the mirror, I can look myself dead in the eye, and I know what I was looking for when I was looking for enlightenment. And I know that I am that now. So I'm no longer looking for that thing that I was looking for. And when somebody tells me they're enlightened, I'm going, well, that's great. That's kind of between you and you. I don't expect you to prove it to me. I'm not looking for you to prove it to me. It's kind of none of my business. And yet, you're still listening. So, the reason I would say that you are still listening is there's something in my energy that you recognized. Like part of me getting enlightened was, like my spiritual teacher was Barry Long, and I recognized him as being enlightened. And he was a very different, certain kind of personality. Look him up. A lot of people who kind of hear me talk about Barry Long, they'll go, "Oh, I'll go to the source. I'll look up Barry Long now, and I'll get the true essence thing. I've heard John talk, and he says his teacher was Barry Long, so let me go and listen to Barry Long." And then they go and listen to Barry Long, and they're like, "Ooh, I don't like him. I don't like that at all." So yeah, look it up. Barry is a very specific kind of personality, but I recognized that he was enlightened. Then I went to see this other woman called Catherine Ingram, and in the middle of seeing her, I realized she was enlightened too. And you couldn't get two more different people, but the energy was the same. That's the thing that did it for me, because it was like a load of dominoes kind of went. I spent all these years listening to Barry, being around Barry. I knew what that felt like. I knew the energy he embodied. And of course, he had all his personality and all his stuff and his teaching. So I was, diligently trying to follow the teaching, and all that kind of thing. Then I come across Catherine Ingram, who's still alive, and I recognized the same energy in her. And then it was like, if he's enlightened and she too is enlightened, then I'm enlightened. And that was it. Okay? And it was, all the cliches were true. Before enlightenment, chopping wood, carrying water. After enlightenment, chopping wood, carrying water. It's exactly the same. Everything changed and nothing changed. Best way I can explain it is, I have this image of listening in to the internal conversation of a sapling. Like the tree, it's grown up a bit, but it's got the stake maybe still at the side, or maybe the stake has just been taken off. And you're listening into the sapling, and it's an oak tree, let's say, a young oak tree. And you're listening into the oak tree, and its internal dialogue is, well, what the hell is wrong with me? There's something wrong with me. I'm not an oak tree. I'm fundamentally flawed because I'm not an oak tree. I've seen oak trees, and I am not that, right? And you listen to that and kind of go, but you are an oak tree, and you're in the exact right place. There's nothing wrong with you. You are exactly where you are. So you're not fundamentally flawed. You're just where you are. So okay, that maybe is not a great analogy in that, because one of the things about pitfalls of the idea of enlightenment is this idea of becoming something that you're not. And I don't want to perpetuate that. But it's like, for me, I'm still becoming more conscious. Okay? I'm still discovering bits of unconsciousness in me. But I don't have that fundamental question I once had about myself, that there was something wrong with me right here, right now. Even though I'm more conscious today than I was yesterday, I'm more conscious than I was last year, I'm more conscious than I was 10 years ago, or, I continue to become more conscious, but I don't have that question about myself anymore. So you are listening because somewhere you're registering or recognizing the energy of enlightenment. And you can't recognize something, that you don't already know. It's not like you're discovering something new. You're recognizing something in what I'm saying. It's not even what I'm saying, it's the energy behind it. And the reason I think you keep coming back is it's in you too. That's what it sounds like to me. And even though I'm, when I talk about enlightenment, it just doesn't sound very appealing at all. There's no like, oh yeah, everything will be lovely, you'll never be unhappy again. I'm not saying any of those things. So I think somewhere you have to kind of acknowledge, you recognize something in what I'm talking about, or the energy of enlightenment in me. And if you recognize it, it means you know it. And if you know it, it means it's in you. And there is a process of dissolving going on in you, dissolving all the impediments to you knowing that too. And it sounds like you're close.